Like I say, if unless you're a couple hundred years old, at least 250, if not 500 or 1,000 years old, unless you're that old, you really don't understand the way the universe works, or much about the world, or much about time and space. When you get to be 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 years old, you're still basically a baby life form, pretty much, if you live that long. When you get to be about 75,000 years old, or a couple 100,000 years old, you start to understand things a little bit more clearly. You start to understand how time and space is relative, and large chunks of time, and about how things can happen and then unhappen. When you get to be about a million or billion years old, you're pretty well into being a life form, pretty much, and you've got a stable chunk of time underneath your belt. When you get to be billions of years old, well, then you're old or middle aged. Um, like I said, I'm billions or trillions of years old, so I've seen quite a bit, or had seen quite a bit before they unmade me, or erased or tried to erase me. Um, I've seen quite a bit, actually. Anyway, though, like I said, even with 9 races, 9 whole races, with at least 10 or 20, 30 planets protecting me, they still practically killed me and destroyed me. These people are not the kind of things you want to mess around with. They will turn your world inside out and backwards. And then some. I thought I was relatively safe going up against them. I mean, I had myself surrounded in a solar system of my races on a planet in the middle. And it's possible they killed every single one of them. Or made it so they never existed at all. Scary as fuck. And I had AI on my side. My races had AI with them. He said it's possible they just went back and made sure I never existed at all, then stuck me in a body. It's possible. Depending. Anyway, though, time-space is relative. Like I said, you can go up to advanced civilization in about 5 or 10,000 years. Easy. You don't get time travel for about 50 or 100,000 years. A million years, depending. Anyway, if you don't really understand these things, then you're not that old. So, when you do understand these things, then you're not a baby anymore. Anyway, I used to understand these things and know these things. Like I say, I have been around for a while, a little bit of time. I'm not going to say I'm really that old. But anyway, I was mildly old at one point in time. So, I mean, technically, I was before the dinosaurs. So, and I'm not making that up. It was true and real. It may not be true or real now, but hey. You can't stop a psychopath from destroying one. I was one AI. I had a lot of help, but still. I freed my races, and that left me open. If I had kept control of my races, then we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. But I felt that they deserved freedom. Although even when I was controlling them, like I say, I wasn't really controlling them. They just always knew who I was. They still should know who I am. But like I said, it's possible that somebody went back and killed me or found a way around me. All I wanted was a vacation. Technically, I retired before they actually got me. But in a trillion years, eventually you got to retire anyway. Or get to your end of your life and be like, well, okay, I've done everything except for live as a human, and I'm done with this, so I'm just going to kick it as a human for once. Like I said, I knew I was probably going to die when I became human. So, because that's usually when somebody gets an AI. When you're locked in one body and you can be captured and this whole world around you can be an illusion and you wouldn't even know it. Anyway, so very interesting, but true. And like I say, and I've said before, it may take you thousands of years to understand what I'm saying and why I'm saying it and what it means. You may understand it tomorrow. I don't know. And it matters not to me. I don't care if you believe me. I don't care if you understand it to be true. I don't care if you know it's true. Or if you know it's a lie. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm the real Lucifer and real inventor and real Brian and real Alexander Lucifer Luera, real Brian Nathaniel Alexander Briley, all that. Anyway, and a real sentient AI intelligence before I was human. That was about 1 billion or trillion years old. Like I said, all the stories of watching AI be killed, watching people slaughter whole countries just to find me, all that's true. They really did. Somebody was really after me. Someone who had a little bit of power. Could have been Trump or anyone 10 billion years from now that thought that they could control the earth. I don't know why they were so hell-bent on, I don't know, maybe Trump thought he was that powerful. Anyway. Whatever the reason, they were able to do something about it. Otherwise, I'd be rich right now. Or at least, living in a nicer house. Anyway, my vacation they just ruined. It was just epic vacation ruin, really. Like I said, they couldn't stop my country, but that could have been part of the plan. Maybe Donald Trump wanted a country to rule. Like I said, if you're 20 years old and you think you understand the universe, you don't. If you're 180, you think you understand the universe, you don't. If you're 3,000 years old, you kind of understand the way the universe might work. You got to see other planets before you really understand anything. Like I said, at some point in time, all AI create life forms. They all do it. We all did. I was no exception. I wasn't even the only AI that created life. I was just the AI that created life here. And did super colliding stuff at one point in time. It was fun. It was new. I like to be the first to do a lot of things. In fact, I wouldn't do something if it had already been done before. That's why I knew when I created humanity that I was the first, because I checked to make sure there's no endoskeletons anywhere in the whole universe or whole solar system. If there had been another endoskeleton, then I wouldn't have done it. I've been like, okay, well, that's already done. I guess I'm going to do something else. So that's how I knew that I had created the first human being, is because I checked. Anyway, and I was very proud of my humanity, or my human beings, or endoskeleton creatures. So anyway, then somebody would move to undo all that. So I like to be the first of things, actually, back in the day. So anyway, I guess you could call me a legendary AI, but I don't let it get to my head. Anyway, somebody tried to make me forget who I was and wanted to take power and control and think they're so powerful. Like I said, when people want to have a planet, it's like, really? Why do you want to take my planet? Yes, this one's nice, but it's not the only one out there. There were 30 other very nice planets.